Welcome to the International Conference. We finally had the luck of the Irish with us this year, so third time's a charm. Many of you all remember that we were trying to host this back in 2020 and 2021, and the lovely COVID era hit us, and so we've finally been able to host the conference here. Before we get too far into comments, we always need to start with our lovely antitrust statement to ensure that we're in compliance with all of our global laws and regulations.
I sometimes think that I'm a filler.
Hang on.
To allow people to come in. Better? Okay, people are still coming in and I'm still a filler. At any rate, the antitrust policy is really just something in terms of terminology and name that refers to competition laws in the United States. Antitrust is the U.S. name for laws which many of your countries have. There may be variations in the laws of various countries. That stands to reason. For example, in the United States, competition law violations are punishable not only by fines, but also by prison time. In the EU, there's no prison time. It's not criminal, but they really like to emphasize fines, and so you get very high fines in the EU. It may differ from country to country, but what we have in the antitrust policy or competition law policy that you see up on the screen, and that is on the back of your programs, is basically a distillation of some of the more common aspects of competition law from various countries. And so my advice to you is basically that you not engage in any conduct which, if you stop and think about it, is anti-competitive in nature. That includes discussing prices and company costs, sharing information that should be proprietary and really secret to your own company, what prices you're paying for goods, what prices you're charging for your own products and services. Those things should be your own decisions, not group decisions. If I were giving you advice from the U.S. only, I would tell you for sure that is illegal and you risk going to jail for doing that. In your own countries, it may or may not be different, but there's one thing I want to emphasize as well. The fact that we are in Ireland does not necessarily mean that you can do something here you couldn't do in your own country. For example, if two companies or three or four were to get together here and agree on an anti-competitive course of conduct, whether that be to fix prices or to agree to divide up customers, territories, and markets, and that affected business in the United States, that would still be punishable in the United States, even if the agreement was made here in Ireland. So that may also be the case with your countries, so it's a good idea, no matter where you are in the planet, on the globe, to avoid anti-competitive conduct. Thank you. Have a good meeting. You're done with me unless I hear something that I don't like the sound of from an anti-competitive conduct context. I have a microphone and I'm authorized to flick it on and stop the conversation if it's going off the tracks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. And so to reiterate, I'm much more attractive in green than orange, so I don't want to go to jail either. So please make sure to keep your antitrust laws and regulations in the back of your mind and at the forefront of your meetings. Okay, just a brief update for the schedule today. Most of you probably had breakfast already. Of course, our general session room's here. We will have 2 presentations this morning, followed by a brief break with refreshments out in the pre-function area. Lunch is included this year with your registration. We understand that sometimes the weather can be, well, predictable or unpredictable, which way you want to look at it here in Ireland. But we understand that your time is very valuable while you're here, so it is an open buffet between 11:45 and 1:15 each day. You're welcome to go in at your leisure, and if you would like to continue to have a meeting during lunch, the entire restaurant is just for our group, so you're welcome to go in and have meetings there as well during lunchtime. Most of you are familiar with the open networking space just outside in the pre-function area, as well as here in the room adjacent to the ballroom. If you have not picked up your company logo card and you need a table, you're welcome to take any table you would like. Subsequent to general session ending today, at lunch, they'll be opening up all of the air walls again, so we also will have the tables here if you want to have some of your meetings here in the general session space. We do have our reception again this evening, same place that we were last night. Going to tomorrow, essentially the same setup. The only difference is that instead of having a reception, we're going to go to Guinness Storehouse. So we have an exciting evening planned. Most importantly is that we are going to meet in the lobby at 7 p.m. We have 6 motor coaches that will be departing to Guinness so that we can all arrive by about 7:30. They will have the gift shop open as we arrive, so for anyone who may want to shop, you can shop and leave things at the cloakroom to grab when you depart to return back to the hotel. If you are interested in shopping, I would encourage you to try and get on one of the earlier coaches so you have a few extra minutes to also be able to properly enjoy the tour, which will go up to level 3 where we have a reception. Some lovely entertainers will then take us to level 5 of Guinness. Most of you know it's kind of built like a pint of Guinness, so we'll work our way up to the top. So level 5 for dinner, and then many of you may be familiar with the Lord of the Rings dance troupe. You all familiar with them? Raise your hand if you know them. Okay, so the Lord of the Rings dance troupe, their Irish dance troupe, is going on tour next week, but they're here this week. So we will have the pleasure of having them guide us up to the top level, which is called the Gravity Bar. It's a 360-degree view of Dublin. And so maybe we can all dance an Irish jig together in the world's most open bar. In any case, we will have staggered coaches coming back as well for those of you who need to return back. Otherwise, all of the coaches will depart by midnight to return back to the hotel by 12:30. We know some of you like to continue to network after that event, so the B-Bar will be open until 2 a.m. when we return Tuesday. Okay, moving along. We are going to just go through. We have some of our board members I know that are present. If you're not familiar with our board, these are our company representatives. I know some of them are in meetings, and so I do want to point out 2 people in particular, and that's our board chairman, Dale Hobson, if he'd stand, and our board vice chairman, oh, here he is, right here in the back, and then our vice chairman, Scott Braun. So these 2 guys are here if you have any questions, anything that you would like to see the PCA focus on, then they are certainly available to hear from you, your suggestions, but I am as well. There are 2 additional board members who aren't listed because they're not present, and that's Dave Panzera with Arkema and Daniel Dunleavy with Ingevity. So my apologies, my intent was just to introduce everyone. All right, we have some new members this year. We're up to 77 total corporate members, and that does include all of the lovely mergers and acquisitions that continue to occur within our industry. So we are still holding strong at 77. We do have some folks here from our new member companies. So Arbor Renewables, I believe, Rick Billings, Philip Cook, Alex Kung are here, so thank you very much. Also, the Red Pine, we have Angan Osprey and Jock and Andrew Cologne, so thank you both. Rezaguay, I know we have Ari and Jackie Goldschmidt, so thank you for joining us this year. You've been coming for quite some time, so we're welcoming you as a member. AFRI is here, AFRI Management. We'll hear from them with a presentation as one of our new member companies tomorrow afternoon as part of that 11 o'clock time frame. But Heidi and Henna are here with their team, so they have some amazing information to share as well. Gascon Papier, we have Williams Marquette. Not sure, I haven't met them yet, so looking forward to meeting you. If you raise your hand, I'll come and see you a little later. Perfect. And then with RYAM, so incredibly happy that we have David Rogers and Christian Riberol with us. Rayonier RYAM now has been one of those legacy organizations that I've tried for quite some time to participate and join with the PCA, so we're very happy that they see the relevance of our organization and our role within the industry. We're very happy to have our new members, so thank you. Thank you to all of our continued members as well. You all help keep this program going. You are our industry, and so we appreciate your support. We have a lot of new faces this year. So I just want to take a moment to point out, if you're a first-time attendee, please stand up. Don't be shy, stand up, we want to see you. There you go, see? This is what I like to see. And so I appreciate that. Our veteran people who have been here, a lot of people here in the room have been here 10, 15, 20 years or more. If you see one of these new faces, please take a moment, introduce them to someone, say hello, sit by them during lunch, go see them during the reception. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. And I believe that certainly we see a lot of new faces here, but we see a lot of new companies that are participating that historically have not. So I think that speaks to the relevance that our industry has, and that we're getting the recognition as an industry for people to be able to come together within our organization to collaborate. So very happy to see our growth. Moving along, many have heard about Helsinki, and so for those of you who are familiar with our spring meeting, we do host 2 conferences each year. They're about 6 months apart. This conference, where we have a very high attendance, entering almost 300 people from 35 countries. And our spring meeting historically has always been held in the United States with a lower attendance of maybe 80 to 100. For the first time, our board approved to take this spring meeting outside of the United States, so we will be going to Helsinki in April next year. So for those of you who are interested in attending, it's another great opportunity. It's very cost effective, the similar setup as this. And of course, it'll be about 6 months from now, which, as we know how the market and how the industry currently is, I hope that in 6 months' time, we'll be having some very different conversations. So please save the date. Let's see here. This is a tentative plan, so we went ahead and published it because many people needed to at least earmark the location and the date. So we have not finalized the contract, but these are the dates that we are really our intention is to be in Singapore at the end of September next year. There were some issues. Generally, we have our locations decided and the date decided. However, Singapore, until yesterday, had the Formula One race going on. So many of you are familiar. It takes over all of Singapore, and they unfortunately do not release their dates until around when they're having their their event. So now that we know when they're having it next year, we know when not to be there. In any case, I'll let you know if there are any updates with that, or changes, I apologize. Okay, we have a couple company sponsors, and we have people with private meeting rooms. Meeting room 2, we have our company sponsor, Simrise. I know Dale Hobson and Michael Klom are here with us. So if you have meetings with them, they're right back here. But then I know you'll be able to find them in meeting room 2, so if you're looking for them. We also have Georgia Pacific. We have a team, I think of 5 people here: Jamie Kubat, Peyton Love, David Knoll, Debbie Klein, and Kevin Hembry. So if you're here, if you don't know who they are, they've just stood for those who are in the room, but the others are probably up in meeting room 3. So if you have a meeting with them, that's where you can find them. Creighton, wow, you got a good team here this year. Greg McLean, Miko Van Brevoort, Per Haglund, Kevin Campbell, Roy Garrettson, Andrew Purcell, and Girish Udas. They can be found in meeting room 5. We do have others with private meeting rooms, and so if you have meetings scheduled with any of these companies, this is the room that you can find them in. So quickly, that's Yashahara's in room 4, Forchem Resbal Group, room 7, DRT, room 8, Sunpine, room 10. Room 11 is Ryan, room 12, Rezaneves, room 14, Ingevity, room 15, Aboris. I do believe that we have a couple others, and so I'll update that for tomorrow for those who have some additional meetings scheduled. I know that we have some additional people from our companies here that also typically don't attend, and so I'd like to welcome the CEOs from our bigger corporations that typically don't attend our events. I know Ingevity CEO is here this time, so thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. And so, move on. I like to share tips and tools with people because you all are networking with one another, and as we move to the future, I found a lovely thing with a QR code where you can get information. So for anyone who doesn't have my contact information, you can scan that and get my information, but I would encourage you, if you like a QR code and you want something simply to be able to share your information instead of business cards, it's a free app called QR Code Chimp. Go on and you can set it up very easily. So that's something that just like to give you all some extra tips as I find them as well. All right. Earlier this year, I had some meetings in Finland and Sweden, so was able to go meet with Carrie over at Nesti. Also met with Sodra, Victor over at Sodra, and also met with David at Sunpine. And yes, I did climb to the top of the towers in the cold. And so that's my thumbs up because I got over my fear of heights and excelled to the top. Many of you are paying attention. There have been some information shared about Helsinki. Earlier this year, subsequent to my visits, I learned that there was a program called the 90-Day Finn. It's something that Helsinki Partners, which is their Chamber of Commerce, Business Development, and Tourism Board, have combined together as one business ecosystem to try and attract people that have similar values to their country, and also to help expand presence for anyone looking to expand operations, open new operations as well. There were, you can see our cohort right here. There were 5,500 applicants from 50 countries. They chose 15. They actually chose 16. One person had to cancel, so there's 15 of us. And their identification was they looked for people and industries and work that is being done that they consider a change maker in the world. So for the first time, we have now been acknowledged as an industry, and the pine chemicals industry itself is being taken from unknown to unforgettable because we're now being recognized as a change maker in the world. We already knew we were change makers because of the wonderful presence that our products have within the industry. So this is a really nice accolade to finally be recognized of our relevance and presence within the world. So I have made some introductions already with a good number of people. I did arrive there at the beginning of August. When I leave Dublin, I will be going straight back to Helsinki. So for any of those who have operations in that area, if I've not met with you as of this point, you will be hearing from me so that we can meet before I depart. Further, I will say that if there's anyone looking at Helsinki as an option or Finland as an option for business, please let me know, because I have some people to help facilitate cutting through some of the red tape for encouraging your business to start there or expand there. Additionally, if there's anyone in Finland that anyone needs to speak with or needs the PCA to speak with, if you have an issue of concern, please let me know, because this is our channel now to speak with anyone we wish. My list when I return includes the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Climate, as well as meeting with the technology and trade development organizations to find out how we work together. So part of this is really working with all of our stakeholders, and certainly Helsinki's trying to pull those together. I have to say, many of you know, yes, I love all trees, but I'm in love with pines. It's certainly been a great opportunity going to Helsinki. Their national treasure, of course, being the pine tree, and for them to understand our industry a little better and the products and the impact that we have in the world. It's nice to be able to work and collaborate them now and actually be a relevant stakeholder with their conversations and how the decisions are being made going forward. We are evergreen, ever growing, and so things are happening, changes are happening. We're defining that voice, that unification, because one thing that I noticed in Helsinki is that they really coexist. Whether that's the secret to their happiness and their health, I don't know. Could be the sauna. It could be that they all do work together to make their lives a little easier as well. So the collaborative spirit is certainly very encouraging for the other business ecosystems that we have around the world that need to be working better together. And so with that being said, what can we do together? We can have common interest. One of those is the pine tree. Most all of our industries do not exist without having that natural resource. And so I'll reiterate the message of coexistence with Benjamin Franklin is that if we do not hang together, we will surely hang separately. So I encourage you all to continue to hang together as a unified voice and a unified industry. That's enough for me.